Hey everybody, Shadowsabound here, Greg and
Chris.
bringing you another paranormal podcast. This is episode 7.
Yeah, lucky number 7.
Yeah, 007. We are recapping our Hanover Tavern investigation and also the Paracon event we went to in January of this year, 2023.
January 21st, Saturday.
Yeah, it was the day before your birthday.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Old Man.
Yeah.
It took a while to edit. We were in the process of moving, so we were getting a new office set up. Actually got a brand new computer rig built. We were trying to relocate to a whole nother county and everything, so it took us a little while to get back to it, but we're finally here and ready to bring some more content to you guys.
Ready to roll.
Oh yeah, so we're super excited. We finally got it out. It was a blast. It was definitely a lot of things we got to witness while we were there.
Yeah, a lot of personal experiences, a lot of learning.
Oh, yeah. The Paracon, at first, the event we went to, it was held by a group called Transcend Paranormal. We actually linked their stuff into the video in the description. You can find them on YouTube and Facebook.
We'll try to do it in this one as well.
Yeah, really awesome people. They held the event. There were some other groups there. I can't remember all their names. I know Ghostbusters of Virginia was there, which is a non-profit organization. They do like Toys for Tots and stuff like that.
Yeah, they cosplay, but then they cosplay while actually doing adventures and experiments and stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But we got to talk to a bunch of different people there that either held events themselves. There were mediums and psychics there. There were people that even just did like 3D printings of the paranormal world. So we got a couple different tchotchkes, as you could say it.
And then we met with famous dude from the latest iteration of Ghosthunters.
Yes.
On adventure. No, A&E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it cool. Haunteddiscoveries?
No, just Ghost Hunters. And then he's doing his own thing now, which they're trying to make it into a show in Kentucky called Haunted Discoveries.
Yeah, yeah. It's a new show.
Mufasa's his last name. I forgot his first name. Like, I follow him like crazy. It was cool meeting him.
He was a cool dude for sure. If you're hearing this, sorry we didn't get your name right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're a cool guy. You answered questions, got down and took personal pictures with you. Like, with the way COVID was and stuff. He wanted to be out in public and let people touch him, be close quarters, touch, talk, be close to you face to face. A real person. Most people on TV when they get famous aren't like that. Especially, sorry, Zach Bagans, you're not like that when people meet you in person.
He's a superstar.
He's got that expensive museum,
Yeah. Anyway, so the event we went to, we did get to meet a few celebrities there, which is pretty cool. In the realm of paranormal, we bought some awesome equipment. One of the things that we got, I bought a lantern that is kind of like a REM pod. Basically, you pop it open, you bring the antennas up, and anything that comes into the realm of the antenna sets it off like a REM pod does. Yeah,
kind of like the touch sensitivity part, and it lights up blue and other colors.
Mm-hmm. What did you get again?
I got the dowsing rods. So old-fashioned...
like custom-made ones?
Yeah. It's supposed to help you locate ley lines and water.
Which, I can't remember. Did you use them that night?
I don't think so. I was carrying them around because I was trying to figure out how to be comfortable with them because I didn't feel all right with using them.
Gotcha. I remember we used the lantern in the jail, and it actually did get set off a couple different times. I was using the Estes method, so I was using the headphones and the spirit box, so we would know more about how it got set off.
So out of the 3 times that it went off, I only caught it myself and maybe on my body cam too. But personally, 2 times, and it was during the last bit of you being in the Estes method before the older guy running the scene told us we had to switch to another location.
Oh, okay.
But it had switched from the most serious sensation. So it goes yellow and orange if it's kind of like a light touch, and then the blue-green, and it'll blink if something's holding the antenna on the end. And it went blue-green for a while, and it kept blinking between blue-green, like someone's squeezing their grip on it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a cool piece of equipment. I didn't see all, when it was going off too much, because when I do Essie's method, I close my eyes. But to kind of describe a little bit of how the night went, we got to go in there and talk to vendors. We got to talk to the guys from Transcend Paranormal. Shout out. We got to...
Yeah, they were really helpful, man. They let me ask them questions, advice, and stuff.
Very willing to help out, too.
Yeah.
And they allowed us to film and do all that. So shout out to them for letting us do that. We would definitely try and go to some more of their events if we can for other places. But, going there, talking to them, looking at the vendors stuff, talking to them about just kind of how everybody got into the business. We like networking a little bit. But the night after we went through all the vendors and the events and stuff like that, they have a really awesome restaurant there at the tavern. Really good food.
Southern style, like home cooked.
Yeah. So, and it's upstairs too. And so we had our women with us. So shout out to Desiree and Angel. Which you'll see them in the video too.
Yeah.
But we all got to sit down, have a little double date thing going on. And then we went down to, I think was it before that or after that? We went to the theater and saw...
the theater meeting Mufasa was right after eating dinner, so yeah.
Okay. So that was pretty cool too, because we got to ask some questions he answered and everything. We got a little selfie too, which you'll see on the YouTube page. But after that, I think it was around, 9 or 10 o'clock, we started doing the investigating.
Yeah. I want to say like 10:15.
Which, it's a little bit different than we normally do. Normally it's just Chris and I, maybe, a friend of ours or something like that. But it's mainly him and I, where we, try and film everything raw type deal to where it's personal. It's right there with us. I don't edit out but so much. But that night it was a public event where people paid to do the investigating.
Yeah, I want to say it was like 300 and something people, and each group had 30 or 40 people in them.
Oh, it wasn't that much.
9 or 10
There's
groups.
300 at the event, but doing the investigating, I think it was like no more than 60.
Oh yeah, you're right. So
Yeah,
each
yeah.
group had 15.
So so it was like 4 groups. But the way we did it, actually no, it's 5 because we have 5 locations. So the way we did it is
You're
basically.
right, I'm not good at math.
So the way we did it was we started out, everybody got into groups. Everybody had kind of not like a chaperone, but somebody that kind of had a walkie-talkie on them, so we knew when to switch out. But there's 5 different locations. So we had the courthouse first. We went to the Old Stone Jail afterwards, very tiny, and then we went to the Pamunkey Library, and then after that we went back to the tavern. We went upstairs. And then we went to the museum that's there. But we did it to where it was like...
The museum was the one that really didn't have much in it.
Yeah,
It had some good history stuff to read.
Yeah,
but
not really any kind of conversating or...
the
anything like that.
courthouse and the jail were probably... And then the tavern being number 3.
Tavern had a lot. Now, this could be a whole other podcast, but I will say the difference between having a bunch of people there in a public event versus just the 2 of us... I feel like a lot of the equipment kind of not malfunction, but there's so many people asking questions. There's so many people provoking. There's so many people trying to get in touch with, spirits or whatever, that I felt like it was kind of hard to communicate personally with them like it would be if it was just you and I.
Well, no, what I was going to say was being what I learned from the area waves, airwaves, and telecommunications and electricity and stuff from my dad. There's a lot of radio interference because each group, instead of turning the walkies off the minute they would communicate a message to let groups know what was going on, they kept them on the whole time. So that gives you interference with everyone's tech. And then the fact that someone might say something on the walkie and that'll interfere with someone asking a question in the middle of it. So they might have not have caught that EVP in the middle of that message was
also, everybody had phones on them and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not saying that the stuff that we did capture, that we did get, wasn't real or anything like that. It was real stuff coming through.
It was just a chance to be debugged more.
Yeah, but a lot of the stuff that, like, for example, we went to, Hollywood Cemetery, or we went to the coal mine, stuff like that. When we personally asked questions and answers came through, we knew that we were giving it the realm opportunity to come through and talk to us.
Yeah.
Versus if we reached out and said, hey, anybody here, and you've got we're in the library and you got 3-4 other people asking the same question, either in the courthouse or museum or whatever.
Yeah.
I just felt like everything was so close that stuff was just getting reached out everywhere.
A big cluster.
Basically, yeah. So not all the information was coming through as it normally would if it's just you and I. Which, that could be a whole podcast,
Why
episode.
one's better over the other one.
Yeah. Basically.
I mean, the group thing, really, you got to look at it like more, it's just a learning opportunity more than anything else.
This was more of, let's check out the history of the place. Let's, we had the opportunity to go in there and film and stuff. So it's like, why would we say no?
Right.
Yeah. But, going into the courthouse was a cool experiment. They got to use a white noise app that basically got to push in constant white static sound.
Yeah, so the thing with this
like
app
an open door.
And it's expensive, I believe. The guy was saying the price of
The
it.
setup, yeah.
But it's supposed to bring in the original mistaken experiment the guy with audio was trying to complete. He was trying to complete a way of combining AM and FM together and discovered this layer of white noise in between both frequencies.
Yeah.
So it was like the original noise as he was recording stuff. And everyone says the generic description of an EVP is when you recorded a voice on something, you don't find out or hear it until after that recording is played back. And that's what happened to this guy. This guy was just sitting there trying to figure out why nothing was coming in, why he was just hearing, because that's all it hears. And you can control how loud or how silent that sounds.
Well,
It's better than some of like the stuff that we use, so like the spirit box and stuff. That's a new iteration of that experiment from the 50s.
I mean, we definitely got some stuff coming through the courthouse, but the only thing about it is, again, so much interference that it was hard to get direct answers. Yeah. And the way it was on this gigantic speaker, so it's harder to listen to versus like the spirit box speaker or something. Right. It's not as direct.
Well, he was using 4 surround sound Bluetooth speakers there in 4 corners of the courthouse, and inside this courthouse it was so echoey because it was really old-fashioned wood.
It just sounded kind of wonky almost.
And then like when you did get something and you could hear on our videotape, both my body cam and yours, you could hear it saying an answer. You might be able to make out that answer in your ear. Yeah. But it sounded like what was coming through the white noise was a group of people just like we were dealing with, but from the other side. Well, that's the other thing. Sometimes you'd hear an answer and it was 2 other people trying to answer at the same time. As
far as editing the footage, so I will say we had a little bit of a hiccup. We were using 2 different cameras that night. So we had the normal Canon that I use for the night vision and stuff, and then we had the body cam that Chris uses. But we had a malfunction with the night vision on his, so we didn't have 2 points of view all night. But during the courthouse, it was, cooperating and everything, and the sound was not as bad on the body cam, so that's why I kept it there as much as I could, because everything was a little bit clearer. But we definitely got some crazy evidence that came through. I remember...
Yeah, the name James.
So Angel was sitting next to me, and which is Chris's wife, and she's, we would call it sensitive, or a little bit of a medium, I guess you could say.
Right.
She picks up on names, she picks up on people there, she sees in the spirit realm and stuff like that. And, we all have our different gifts, which we talked about before. So for me, I was noticing something was there, and I leaned over and I said, "Do you see anything?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You got a name?" She goes, "James." I said, "Okay." And then I was like, "Hey, is your name James?" And then we heard, "Yep," come through.
Like clear as day.
Like as soon as I asked.
Just like that.
But now what was even crazier was when it said my last name.
I did remember hearing that.
Because I was like, "How many of them are you?" And then I heard Trail, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, like what does that have to do with the number?
I was so confused that it said that. Like, did it know that I was asking the question? Did it just pick me out for some reason? I don't know.
Is it a relative?
Yeah, that'd be wild. There's a lot of people that got sentenced to death there.
A lot.
Of course, Patrick Henry had his...
Where they got hung was right outside.
Yeah.
Literally after they got sentenced. So it was all right there.
Patrick Henry had his whole career there pretty much, or, the majority of it. A lot of Civil War soldiers went through there. I mean, it was just a number of different generations, and different times in life have gone through that area, through that building, the tavern, all that. But I will say after the courthouse, going to the jail, we didn't get to go upstairs and downstairs. It was just such a small building, and there were so many people in the building that it was hard to go up and down. And they didn't really grant access to the rooms upstairs. So that's why we stayed downstairs. Yeah. And we just did a Estes method for the time that we were there.
I mean, it could be considered an all cement and brick 2-story house with 1.5 rooms, and only one room was open.
Yeah.
So the upstairs, you had to stand along the walls on like a hallway with a railing in front of you.
Yeah,
so there's no room for us to be up there.
We just stayed downstairs.
But I had my most like personal experiences in the jail, because I've sitting there allowing you to do the Estes method. I was just kind of the anxious, uncomfortable feeling where I felt like hands coming out of the walls touching me, and it was always right before you'd get a voice or someone would ask a question and you'd be answering. Mm-hmm. I would feel like something touching me.
Yeah, there was. I kind of laughed a little bit because I can't remember his name, but there was a gentleman from Transcend Paranormal. I don't know if he's part of the group or if he's just like a relative or he knows him or something. I didn't really get to talk to him too much, but he is in a lot of the footage. He was in our group. He had, what was the question? He said something, he was asking something, and I heard "you're an ass" come through the headset.
He asked something, and it straight up, instead of answering his question, called him an ass. And I didn't know, because the headphones were on. They're noise canceling. They're Sennheisers. I can't hear anything outside, and I turn my volume all the way up. So I try and take myself as much out of the realm as I can, possible. And going back and watching the footage, I had to watch it a couple times. Not because we didn't like the guy or anything like that. It's just kind of funny how that. Well, his reaction was, "Well, I've been here so many times before. You're calling me nothing new."
Yeah. He was like, "I've been called worse."
Go on to the next. What else you got to say?
So that was kind of funny. Now the library was.
I don't know the connection. I don't know why they made that a thing.
I think it was just for another building. They didn't really explain much of why.
Well, so supposedly the basement, eventually during the late 50s, early 60s, was the call center for 911 transponder.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I guess some of the emergency calls could have brought attention to the building.
Now, I will say there was definitely some stuff in the basement when we went down in there, which I don't know if that's where they wanted us to go or not.
I don't think we were allowed in there.
But we did anyway. That's the first place we went to. But being down there, we tried to run the Estes method a little bit, or the spirit box a little bit. Got a few answers. Got definitely a lot of whistles and stuff, which was kind of odd. But the only thing that really was, I guess, evidence that there was something going on there, which we tried to film it, but body cam was not working properly, which I don't know if something just messed with it or what.
Are you talking about the part where you and I walked in the room by ourselves and closed the door?
No, not in the basement where they had the pallets and stuff. No. So upstairs, there was a lady who was, I don't know, she was communicating with, I guess, a kid spirit or something like that. And
she said it was a 9-year-old girl.
Yeah. She was saying that she was talking to a spirit of a kid. And, Chris sees her doing it, and he calls me over, so I come over. And she's literally looking at a water fountain. And it's one of those automatic ones, so if you mess with it, it turns on, turns off. But she wasn't standing anywhere close to it. She was a couple feet away to where, you have to step in, you have to lean in a couple inches and mess with it.
That's the thing that someone from the group coming against Transcend was saying, was that it was walk sensitive or touch sensitive. No, you had to push the bar in. And the part that I thought that I was recording and the camera fucked up was you hear the click of the bar being pushed in, and then the stream, the curve of water, and it would blink every time it wanted to say yes or no. So she got it to blink once.
Was the other one
yes
automatic
and two
then?
For no.
There was an automatic water fountain.
I don't know. I'm just telling you the one that I looked at, and I stood in front of it. So.
Okay. Well, anyway. So
this is like the one you were used to with a kid, with the bar to be pushed in to get the water to squirt out.
When she was asking questions, and the water fountain was cutting on and off as it was answering, I guess. And when I tried to record, I got there the last second, right when the film, or when the questions were done being answered. I guess I don't know if we just spooked the spirit off, or if it was happening, or if the water fountain was like, we couldn't really debunk it.
Yeah.
And it's not something I was able to really put in the footage, but it is something that happened personally to us.
And I tried to talk to the lady afterwards. The lady was kind of uncomfortable from the whole experience in the beginning. Like, she went there to get a drink of water and didn't mean to talk to something or ask questions. Okay. So,
but I will say, and it was getting later at night because that was our third location, but there was kind of like a room off to the side, which I guess was like a reading room as part of the library, tables and seats.
Little round tables, yeah.
And I just remember all of my energy was drained. As soon as I saw the water fountain, I was like, look, I need to sit down for a second. When I sat down, I was completely wiped out. Like, every little bit of energy I had that I wanted to keep on going was just gone. Like, I just wanted to be done. And that was such a weird feeling because usually we're excited to do the investigation. We're excited
and you get that go feeling.
Yeah, and it was gone. It was taken from me. And then they were like, all right, we're going on to the next place. And I'm like, why? But,
well, I want to say, too, part of that could be contributed to how long you did Estes method, too.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a while. But we went after that to, it was a tavern next.
Yep. That was cool because of how it looked. It looked like
a
tavern would look from the American Revolution. They kept the original bar and how they had the wood in front of the person that was bartending and everything.
Yeah, no, it was cool. We went upstairs, and now I will say, where we went upstairs, there is like an actual like bar, like he's saying up there, but then there was also a room which we wanted to do it, but they
wouldn't let us or something.
We had to go with the group basically. There was a room where they were doing psychic readings, I guess, earlier.
Yeah.
And it was like the sisters or something. I can't remember their name. We never really like saw them or talked to them, but they were doing psychic readings and stuff. And you could just feel the energy coming from that room as if like they didn't shut something off or they didn't close something.
Almost like a magnet attracting you to it.
Like, yeah, kind of like, I don't know, like you hear something like whispering towards you type thing.
Yeah.
And we wanted to go in there and do an Estes method or spirit box or whatever, but we had to go with the group. So we went into the bar area and we did an Estes method in there, which was in the footage. Not a lot of stuff coming through there.
You got something talk to you, and then at one point you're like, piano there. I hear a piano playing.
Yeah, I heard music coming through.
I got movement and orbs above the old guy sitting near you. That was it.
That guy got a lot. There was one guy that kept getting a lot of orbs, I noticed. I think it was the guy that did. I think he made the lantern that I bought.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. He was the guy with the headphones on the whole time. Everywhere went somewhere.
But we went to the floor above, and that's where we did the Estes method.
In the hallway.
Yeah, it was just the four of us, and I think
that was creepy.
The lady as well. That was not the chaperone, but she was the one that was with the group type deal.
Yeah.
The only thing that annoyed me going back through the footage, which I didn't hear while we were doing the Estes method, was all the people laughing in the other room.
Yeah.
So again, we go back to public versus private investigating. All those noises coming from the other room.
Environment bleeding.
Yeah, and they were trying to do their own Estes method in there too. So that's when I think that either the answers came through on our end, or some of our questions got answered in there.
You're right. We might have asked a question and it might have answered something funny on their side, and that's why they started laughing.
Yeah, because going back to editing and stuff, I was re-listening, and I'm like really listening to some of the answers I was getting. I was kind of confused and almost comical at some of the stuff coming through. But I think that it was maybe the bleeding over or whatnot. So, but we definitely got most of our stuff through Estes method, I think, at the top of the tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tried to bleed it in a little bit different to where this was more of just footage, entertainment purposes, historical areas. It's a little bit more raw when we go to places like Hollywood Cemetery. Excuse me. Woodlake or like the Woolridge Cemetery and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's more outside stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's more personal. It's just us. and it's more kind of raw, type deal. So we kind of apologize if anybody got agitated at the sounds of stuff around, and if you were trying to absorb yourself into it. This was just a little bit more of a different video this time around. But,
or in the beginning where we were talking about stuff and you heard a lot of road noise, we apologize. Standing in front of the street, we'll do that.
I know. But I thought it was a cool shot, The museum, kind of like you were saying, that was the last spot we went to.
There was something in the theater though, and it only really died down when we were in there with the guy from the TV show.
Yeah.
But afterwards, when we were all trying to meet up to the last place and talked about it, something was in there.
That's where they say a lot of stuff
and
gets
people snuck in there, but the main people wouldn't let us in. So I don't know how they got allowed to go in.
I don't know.
There was a bunch of people that stayed back way later than it was supposed to too. So
that's probably because they're friends or they've been there the longest or whatever. But anywho. The museum, we didn't really get anything into it.
No. Stuff to read, like I said, historical stuff.
That was more the historical portion.
Indians from the area that we didn't know about.
Pamunkey and all that.
Like some of the original housing for tobacco leaves and how the original staging of tobacco leaves started there.
Yeah, and they had like the old school walls and stuff that still had bullets and stuff in it.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But it was still all in all cool to see, and we tried to film some stuff so you guys could see it. But we enjoyed ourselves. We thought it was a good time. We look forward to the next event that Transcend does that we can be part of. I don't know when the next one will be. I know they do stuff all the time.
I know there's something in summer and then another one for Halloween again. So.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm definitely sure they do that. So we fell off a little bit on our editing and stuff like that. Again, we had to move, and
we moved 2 houses into one.
So. Yeah, that's true. Got a really nice, decent sized house, and so we moved 2 families into one, make it a little bit easier. But we have a office that we put together recently for Shadowsabound. Like I said, I got a new computer built to do better editing and hopefully get some content out faster and stuff like that. Make it look a little bit better.
Yeah.
Every single time I do something. But we are trying to get back to being on pace with stuff, bring back the podcast. We are almost done with the podcast set. That took a halt too.
Yeah, we got the walls where we want them.
Yeah, we still got to install a few things, and I'm waiting on a couple pieces being built. And then hopefully we'll switch over to video podcasts. But for right now, we're still doing audio stuff. But we appreciate all the support and the patience from you guys waiting on the new content to come out.
Yeah, we just had a bunch more people subscribe to us within the last 12 hours. So.
No, we definitely appreciate the new subscribers and the people liking and commenting on the video that we just put out for Hanover and all the other videos as well. I think upcoming, we got a couple more podcasts we got to record soon. I know I've got Hollywood Cemetery Part 2 that's still on my to-do list. I got to sit down and do that, which will be the first project I get to do on the very brand new expensive PC. So that'll be fun to do.
More and kind of out of my 30 locations, present to Greg 10 good ones that we might have something viable to go to.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out some more locations to go to over the
find out more connections,
upcoming stuff.
Some paranormal happenings as well.
Yeah, no, we definitely got a lot of conversations to talk about podcast wise, but we want to keep finding places to go to. We have been communicating with each other about doing like abandoned places and stuff like that as another part of the category of the channel. So there's a couple places we want to check out.
Yeah, it's really how it works out. Is, like 7 out of 10 abandoned places can also be haunted. So
you never know.
That's a 2-for-1 deal. So
well, a couple places we're trying to get permission to go to. We don't just want to trespass or anything.
Yeah, no.
So
I mean, that is the biggest thing with explorership, though, is the fact that they find ways to trespass legally, and then they still post their content too. So
yeah, Chris and I are trying to do things the right way. Yeah. So, but no, we definitely, like I said, we're back on track now, trying to get stuff done. So we appreciate the patience for for you guys who stuck around with us and let us kind of get settled in and get the office straight and get everything back to normal. So we're back on pace trying to get everything where we needed to. So hopefully, I'm not gonna put a timestamp on it.
No.
But we're gonna try and
Maybe
get the podcast
video
set
podcast by after Easter.
When's Easter again? That's why.
Sometime in
like,
April, but after April Fool's Day.
So I was like, I don't want to do a timestamp. So
between the 16th and the 30th, there you go. There's the window.
If we sound tired, by the way, we're recording this a little bit late at night, so our apologies. We've been so busy, we're just trying to get everything cranked in at one time. But yeah, no, we had fun at Hanover. Like I said, shout out to Transcend for letting us film and stuff. We're gonna try and get to some new locations coming up soon and get some more content out for you guys.
Yeah. Paranormal phenomenon, that was the word I was looking for.
There you go.
Connection with new places, with new things going on. Keeping them connected through all the threads.
Yep, that's true. So, but if you guys have any questions or any suggestions or anything like that, always feel free to comment down below. And if you haven't yet, try and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have to do the trifecta here. So like, comment, subscribe, and what really helps out is sharing it. We appreciate the 106 or more people subscribing and everyone leaving those comments.
Yeah, congratulations. We got over 100. Hey.
Yeah.
But no, we're gonna get going here in the episode now, and try and get on to the next piece of content for you guys, and we will see y'all soon.
See you on the next one.